Okay. Should be live very shortly here. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the... Excuse me. I am a little under the weather today, so I apologize for that. Right off the start of the bat here, let me get a quick audio sample for what we got going on here, and I will get right back to you. All right, audio looks good. I don't see any stuttering yet, but we're not in the heat of action, so we'll see. Last week we had some stuttering action on the server, and I have taken some steps to hopefully remedy that. I have turned down the game settings a little bit, and on top of that, I have changed some OBS settings to hopefully combat that issue. Can I get broadcast cam, please? And let's get out there. We'll ride with Cedric Muir for a bit, just because he's the guy that was at the top of the pile. So we're at the championship finale here of Server 2 of the Evolution Racing Academy Season 13. And we've got two championships, I do believe, still up for grabs. That is the Silver and the Iron Championship, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, and I can confirm, that the Bronze title is, in fact, going to Dennis Hook this season. Not a repeat championship for Jeffrey Bacher, who sits 6th in the standings. And no one can catch Hook here today. That being said, the Iron title is a little bit interesting still. There is a 2-horse race there between Matthias Wiedemann and Brandon Harvey. And in the Silver department, it is a 4-horse race between John Spriggs, Milestone, Aaron Shergill, and this man, Cedric Muir, who are still alive for the title. Again, bit of a throat infection. I apologize if the audio on my part, in terms of my voice, is a little bit weak. But we'll try and do what we can do here and get muddle on through this. Also, if there's any issues with the stuttering in the video, please let me know. I have a couple of other ideas, but I do not want to implement them if I don't have to. Anyways, we're just here in the free practice session, and I guess something I'll do here in free practice is there is a driver who is inquiring as to why his livery was not showing up. I noticed that his livery was downloaded today, and there it is! USA! Philip Sully has got the appropriate livery now. There you go. There you go. I guess I can quickly go through and see if there's any broken liveries. Be a bit late, of course, in the season to actually fix them now, but I can still make a note if there is something non-functional. I should really just skip over the people I know are actually working here, and just go to the ones that I don't recall the liveries of. Let's see here, D. Hines. I'm pretty sure I have your livery. Yep, there it is. I just couldn't remember it off the top of my head. Nathan Gray, Hey, David Slater! David Slater making his second appearance of the season. Let's go. It means he won't be in chat, but hey. And the return of Professional Hater. I think we're good otherwise. Oral Shaw, I think, is sporting a new livery. Indeed he is. I like it. The 296 Ferrari there in the red and the black. And the other one might be Lucas Joubert. Yeah, we got him too. That's a Griffin Racing car, which I like their liveries. They're fantastic. So, yeah. Sean Young moving to the top of the pile. Not that it matters. A lot of people are just kind of sitting in the pits right now. And it won't be until qualifying that we're really paying attention, if I'm being entirely honest, to the actual paces. Chris Stancer moving to the top of the pile is, no offense, Chris, but that's a sign of the times that we don't really have a speculative time yet. Chris is a man known for like more consistency and ability to deliver over the course of a race than over a single lap. But right now he's at the top of the charts and also has the best sector too. While the practice is going, if you'll excuse me, I'm just finishing up my lunch. So how about I mute the microphone and finish that up, and then you guys will have me for the qualifying session. Okay. My poor battered throat has been fed. It is time to get going here. So, I should pull up a Barcelona track map real quick. As well as ideally stop having hiccups. This would be This would be ideal. It's not a lot of like names to the turns at Catalonia, is there? Like turn 4's got a name. Turn 7 is apparently TV3 corner. Eurocar turn 13, turn 10 is La Caxa, and then Catalonia is number 14. So not a lot of stuff to handle on that end of things. It's just going to really be turn numbers for the tour here. As per usual, we will have the iron qualifying, and we will pick an iron driver to give us a tour of the circuit. And it's not really a scientific process. It'll just be whoever comes out of the pits first, quite honestly. The red number plates are the iron drivers. The silver number plates, or the gray number plates, are the bronze drivers. Normally in real life, those would be the silvers, but this is the silver down one. So the white number plates, which are designated as pro drivers, those are in fact the ones that will be carrying the flag of the silver rating. So there you go. Checking to see if we have any new faces in the field today. It is good to see Ulrich Jaeger back after his disqualification at Imola. He had a very, very solid run there, so I'm looking forward to see what he can do. Looking forward through the grid. Not really seeing any new faces. We're seeing some returners. We haven't seen Professional Hater in a bit. Haven't seen Bearded X Badass in a bit, so having them back on the grid is a big deal. I talked about David Slater earlier, who returns after a long absence. Hasn't been here since the Nürburgring. But otherwise... Oh, and Richard Oakes, whose championship hopes came to an end when he missed the Imola round, will be participating today. So a couple people are back, but no new faces that I notice here. It is a veteran grid, or at least a active grid during this this current season that is taking part today. And it's big enough that there are some cars overlapping, so that's always nice to see. Looks like we have a hybrid Porsche and Nissan there.
Green light, go, go, go.
So we got some stuff there. Let's get ourselves into drive mode here. And who is it going to be that gives us a tour of the circuit? We're looking for whoever comes out first onto the track. And it's looking like car 43. Our eventer has bravely offered themselves as tribute. We'll ride on board for the warm-up and into the proper. We got a wet day out there. We're going to see some cars sliding around. There's going to be some aquaplaning. So please try not to judge the drivers too harshly if you see them out there, you know, messing up. Let's be honest. The iron drivers will have the first crack at it. Then we will see the bronzes. Then we will see the silvers. Can't wait to watch Edmonds bin it. That's a little mean, but yeah, probably. We'll see some people bin it. I pretty much guarantee that. If we see a completely incident-free race here today, I'll be a little bit disappointed because it means nobody's pushing. Like, honest, legitimately, that's what that's gonna mean. We'll talk about the Iron Championship in a moment here once we get through the traditional track map, the tour, the onboard, which has historically been provided to us by Matthias Wiedemann because he usually goes out first. Maybe he's finally realized that that's what's going to happen. Well, you are Edmonds. Okay. Zero Aspect is Dominic Edmonds. Okay. I did not know. All right. On to the front straight here with our eventer heading down towards turn 1. This is one of the more difficult turns on the circuit to get right because you're carrying a lot of speed. You want to carry as much speed through the corner as possible because we're heading through this turn 1, 2, and 3 S complex here. And getting turn 1 wrong means you've instantly gotten turn 2 and turn 3 wrong. So it's a big deal. We head up towards the Repsol corner here, which is turn number 4. This one's this one's a little bit more standard, but still. Onwards to turn 5, which is this tight left-hander. Basically flat out through 6, nothing really there to actually deal with. And then into turn 7, which is apparently called TV3 corner. And then turn 8 here is the little bit of the kink there on the way out. Heading up and towards turn 9. This one's a bit of a weird one because I feel like a lot of cars don't have a perfect gearing selection through turn 9. And then we head towards La Caxa, turn 10. This one's very difficult. Like, it's just very oddly shaped like a fishhook. Through turn 11 and 12. And then we finish off with the chicane. And the final corner of Catalunya. And Venter going in the pits. Interesting. Interesting. Not sure what's up with that. Maybe he invalidated the lap. And is kind of done. Alright. Who's on a hot one? I'm looking for somebody to be on a hot one that could pop up. It looks like maybe the 976 car will be our first individual. Not seeing a 976 car in my... There it is. Is D. Hines. Nope. And he's done. Andres Hansen. Alright, let's talk about the championship prescriptions here for the iron category. In the iron category right now, we enter today with Matthias Wiedemann leading the championship. Now, because of drop scores, Wiedemann's gap is a little bit smaller. It's 11 points over Brandon Harvey. So... If Wiedemann wishes to win here today, he would need to finish. What's the magic number here? The magic number would be 89 points. So he needs to score 9 more than the 6 that he needs to score 9 points at least. It's a bit of a weird one. It'd be like 6th with the fastest lap or 6th with the pole position would do it for him. So yeah, we'll simplify. If Wiedemann finishes in the top 5, the championship is his. Brandon Harvey needs to win, needs to basically get pole position and fastest lap if he has any hope of wresting this away from Wiedemann. But it is mathematically possible for Brandon Harvey to win the title with a 4th place or better, theoretically. But of course, that depends on Wiedemann doing nothing. Actually, I don't even think 4th place will do it for him because. Let's say worst comes to worst, Wiedemann crashes out of this race, gets a big fat 0. His 7th place from the Red Bull ring would re-enter his score and put him at 86 points. And at that point, Harvey would have to win. So, the championship is only interesting if Brandon Harvey is winning. and Wiedemann is not like 2nd place. There you go. So all the power is with Matthias Wiedemann right now. He just needs a top 5. And the title will be his. Silver is the only championship that's particularly interesting coming into today. There are some permutations. So we've been with Hansen for a bit. Brandon Harvey currently on a 1-second improvement lap. This would not put him on pole, but it gets him close if he can get there. Be about a half second off. There you go. 4th place. Behind Ron Morley, Sean Young, and Felix Kramrich. Matthias Wiedemann's on a good lap. He's up about a second. This would put him in... Well, it wouldn't improve him, actually. He'd still be behind... Okay, he would jump... Pat Fortune. We just jumped him, but he'll get 6th place off of this lap. We'll see if he can improve it further. And of course, this is the time where the chat can be most active because I'm actually paying attention to you guys. Whereas when the race starts, I'll be probably paying more attention to the action. It is a one-man booth. I do not have a race director. I do not have an assistant directing the camera. I am the voice. I am the camera. I am the stats man, all rolled up into one. So during the race, it'll be a relatively... Oh, that's why very few people were going out. The rain basically gave up. So 15 minutes. You know what? This could be weird. Because I think, if I'm not very much mistaken, the Silvers will be on the track with rain, and that might hamper their qualifying. So we might see a bronze or even iron pole position here. We'll see. We'll see. This could be interesting. Nathan Gray on a pretty good lap right now. South African driver with BMW currently sits 7th in the standings. This lap should be enough for 3rd place as it stands. Of course, he could mess up. And things could change as Brandon Harvey pops up into 2nd place. So now it's looking like 4th place. Maybe even 5th place. He lost a couple tenths. We'll see. He's got a chunk to go, and he's got a pretty difficult 3rd sector to navigate here. But right now, he is the big improvement. There's a couple others. Wiedemann's on a good lap as well. Ron Morley looks like he's going to better his pole time. Andreas Hansen's on a good lap too. So there's a couple of people that are stepping up right now. But let's stick with Nathan Gray here till the end. Right now, it would be 4th place as it stands. And actually gets up to 3rd. Just pips Kramrich for 3rd place. Wiedemann's up over a second here. So right now, Wiedemann would go 5th quickest as it stands. That being said, the guy who is in 5th, Andreas Hansen, currently has a very good lap going. So he's going to jump up as well. There we go, to 0.695 off a pole. And still got a shot at it. I'd say Gray... Wiedemann's a threat right now to basically anyone that's not Ron Morley. And comes across the line in 4th place. Checking. Hansen's on a slight improvement right now. Nothing too much. Hansen's had a very consistent season, just the one podium, but he's been in the points every race for the Iron Championship, and only 2 drivers, the other one is Matthias Wiedemann, can actually say that. So, a quality, consistent season for the Swede. Sits 5th in the Iron Championship. Doesn't have a lot of upward mobility here. Yeah, maybe. I mean, a good result here today could possibly bounce him up a couple spots. He sits on 44 points right now. He could finish as high as... 3rd. So he could catch up to Kramrich or to Sean Young. And abandons that lap. Alright. So the bronzes are out on track. And this is the man who will be the bronze champion. Dennis Hook. Your championship winner in the 911 BMW blasphemous number. He enters today on 75 points to his name. Adrian Marood and Professional Hater and Robert Volt are all equal on 54 points in 2nd place. So, there you go. They cannot catch him. Even if they were to ace it today, fastest lap, pole position, all that jazz, would not be able to take the title off him, so he will be the champion. That being said, we have 3 guys tied for 2nd place, and one other driver, Aurel Ja, is just 5 points behind them. So things are still interesting in this division, just not as far as the trophy itself is concerned. One moment, everybody. I have a laptop-related issue. Its battery is dying, and I need to find its cable. you will kindly afford me a moment to locate that particular item. Power cable, looks right. Yep, there it is. Found it. One laptop power supply. Plug her in. Plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. I thought I had a fully charged battery. Turns out I did not. No, the laptop is not the source of the stream. It's just how I look at the chat. What are you not allowing me here? Also, Brandon Harvey, welcome to the stream chat. All right, so what's going on here? Sean Young still on the pole position here for the Iron class, although Adrian Marood, who is second place in the championship, actually I don't know. I think I'd count back he's in fourth because Hayter and Volt both have a win. So I think if I understand the count back correctly, currently it would be Hook at the top, champion, got that sealed. Then it'll be Hayter because he has a win in 2 second places. Then Volt because he has a win. And then Marood because he has 2 second places. So I believe on count back, that is the deal. Marood lacks the tiebreakers as it stands against Professional Hater and Robert Volt. Here is Professional Hater. Started the season incredibly strong, winning at Zolder, second places at Nürburgring and Suzuka, and at 4 rounds in, it looked like he was the champion, and then he missed the Red Bull Ring and Imola, and that has effectively ended his championship hopes. The fact that he missed those 2 rounds and is still in second place should tell you, everything you need to know about the season he's had. It's been fantastic when he has been here. It's just a matter of being here. He's on a massively improved lap rate here. Should go. Oh, he invalidated it. Damn it. Okay. Well. Currently, pole position belongs to Oral Jad. No surprise there. He has been the pole master in recent rounds. Let's see here. What is his pole streak up to? Pole position at Bathurst, pole position at Suzuka, pole position at Red Bull Ring, and pole position at Imola. He is on a 4-race pole streak in the bronze category, and he is back there now. Beardex Badass has invalidated his lap. So I'm going to look and find somebody who's on a good one right now. That would be Robert Volt, who is not a championship hopeful. Last season he came into the finale with a chance at the championship, did not get it, and now has come in here with no hope at all. Damn, we had that little ghosting going on. I apologize for that. I'll fix that for next season. I got to remember what setting it is that creates that ghosting. I remember it's a specific, toggle. See the sort of ghosting speed effect there on the Aston Martin. I don't like it. Maybe you guys do, but I don't like it. Volt's lap time currently is 8/10 up, which would put him second place behind Oral Jad and displace Dennis Hook from the front row. See if he can get that done. It's a matter of holding it. I've called a couple of people for an improvement, and then they messed it up right at the end. Chris Dancer, by the way, is also on a good lap. And there he is. Actually gets second place. Pardon me, I called second place. And Chris Dancer's going to pop up a couple spots into third. So Chris Dancer looks like he's really having a good time here at Barcelona. Either that or that 720S there. I believe you are correct, Dominic. I believe you are correct. That is the issue. I remember I had it before and I fixed it without an issue. It's just those who do not know, my computer had to go through a full system recovery because of... Honestly, I still don't know what the problem was, but it was like refusing... For some reason, the NIC card, the network interface card, had gotten stuck to the point where it could not accept upload speeds above like 2 megs, and that obviously made streaming impossible. So eventually tried all the usual solutions and all that jazz, and then eventually just kind of went, screw it, we're doing a full system reset. So there are a couple of things that still need to be restored to their former glory, in a nutshell. Pretty good laps right now for Stan. Oh, actually, Hooks is illegal. So let's get off him. Let's get Professional Hater out here. Hater currently up 0.6. This would take him into probably around the top 5. We'll see what he can do here. Just has to keep it legal. It is still legal. It is still legal, at least according to the ACC Race Assistant. Coming across the line. And that is 5th place for the Hater. Good lap going for Chris Dancer, actually. This has got, this is not pole, but this will be 2nd place, yeah. Solid effort. That McLaren is humming around this track right now. Jeffrey Bacher in the lone Audi. Currently going to improve a little bit, but he's only going to be possibly moving past Morley's iron car into 10th place. Actually, doesn't even get that. Doesn't even get that. Still 12th. Or 11th, pardon me. Big improver right now is Dennis Hook. As it stands, it would not move him up a position. He's too far behind Robert Volt. But it is an improving lap. And we'll see if he can maybe butch it up a little bit and go for that top 3. Nah, not a good run there through 10. And he invalidates the lap. That will do it. Bacher's on a decent one again. The rain is starting to come down. And that is going to complicate things for the Silvers. Like I said, we might see a bronze pole position here. Because it is getting wet. The track is fast right now. So it's still quick. But there is a limited thought of what can be improved. That being said, Bacher still does have a faster lap going, and the Silvers have hit the track. I see Milestone, I see John Spriggs out there. So we got interest. Bacher is still about a half second up right now, which would take him up to maybe 9th place. Should get past Morley at the very least. Cahill is possible. No, just 10th. Cahill holds him off. All right, let's talk about the Silver Championship real quick, shall we? While we look at Milestone in the Nissan. Coming into today, 4 people are alive in the championship hunt. It is a battle between championship leader John Spriggs, who's on 74 points. Milestone is on 68 points. 65 for Aaron Shergill, and 62 for Cedric Muir. Those are the 4 guys in the championship battle. With a 4-way fight, it's really, really hard to like give you much in the way of like thoughts. Muir is a very much outsider. He is largely going to have to win here. He is largely going to have to take home the big trophy in order to have a shot at the championship. So it's probably not on the table for him. But Shergill and Stone are a little more alive. Stone just has to outscore Spriggs by 7 points. And Shergill needs to do it by 10 points. Now, I would say that that's kind of unlikely. They need Spriggs to have a bad day. Because right as it stands, John Spriggs only needs to score a... Let me do the math here real quick. If Spriggs gets on the podium, the title is his. Regardless of what anybody else does. There is nothing that can be done otherwise if it's a podium today for John Spriggs. And we've seen John Spriggs get on the podium a couple of times, if you know what I mean. So Oral Jha and Sean Young, I'm just updating my sheet here, are your pole sitters. And Matthias Wiedemann is smiling in the pit lane because without pole position going to Brandon Harvey, the chances of a championship challenge from Harvey are pretty damn limited. By the way, no lap times from Adam Stewart or Philip Sully. So they are electing to start at the back. Could be a qualified band. I know this series does do qualifying bands at times. So a couple laps coming in. Shergill, Muir, Spriggs, Stone, all lined up together in the championship battle. We'll be looking very closely at John Spriggs' performance because this car, this Wise Racing BMW, is the driving force. A podium today, which would mark his, I want to say 5th on the season. I would be correct. It would be his 4th. Which would be his 4th podium of the season. Is championship for him. Doesn't matter what Milestone does. Doesn't matter what Muir does. Doesn't matter what Shergill does. As long as he gets a podium. So he holds the keys. And I will run permutations on the championship throughout the festivities here. Do some rough work and tell you where we are. And like I said, the grid's going to be a bit mixed up because it's getting damp. And I'm not seeing any of the silver guys do their traditional torrid laps. In fact, the only one currently improving on their time is this man, El Perry. And it's not by much. Perry's only up about a 10th right now. And that Nissan is struggling. You can see it. You can see it drifting quite a ways out there. Lost about a 10th there, actually. So still in the green, but not much. So Oral Jha, I have a feeling you and Chris Stancer are going to be starting on the front row, and that's interesting. Having the silvers have to work their way through the field could be a really interesting time. Sometimes the weather throws a curveball at you. So to that end, it looks like Shergill of the championship contenders will start the highest up, but he'll be on row 9 with Andres Hansen as things stand. So, not great. There's a couple of silvers that aren't even bothering. I see Samuel Jardine in the pit lane. There's the rust bucket of Richard Oakes. I know Richard Oakes is a bit of a rainmaster, so he's also a wild card here as far as everything is concerned. He sits 5th in the championship. He has no championship hopes. That being said, he could move up as high as 2nd place with a good result here today. Ah, another potential iron driver. More the merrier. The more the merrier. The Iron Championship this season has been real good. Last season it was not terribly entertaining. It was kind of very dominated. But we technically still have an Iron Championship battle going on right now here at the final race of the season, which is pretty cool. Between Matthias Wiedemann and Brandon Harvey. Brandon, you were my pick. Where's my trophy, boy? I have money on you. Also, to be honest, it's just been surprising to see Wiedemann, who wasn't a factor in last season's Iron Championship. Sean Young was a dominant champion. Come out of kind of nowhere to be in the hunt. It's been very impressive. El Perry is currently the only driver with a chance of bettering their lap time out there. Everybody else is just kind of sliding around. We do have a couple of drivers like David Slater, Alfredo Quesadillas, and Samuel Jardine who have yet to post a lap time, and they're out there trying. But it is a wet track. It is a full wet track now. I really, really doubt we'll see any improvements as David Slater does come across the line in 31st place. There is Alfredo. That's a new livery, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall him being red last race. The Mexican goes 30th quickest. And I think we'll basically just finish off with Samuel Jardine here because I don't think anyone's going to improve on their lap times, really, in any significant way. The track is wet. And right now, it's just kind of about Jardine trying to actually get a lap time in that is legal. And that is the most interesting story going on right this second. As the 172 Hondas battle against nature. Don't know if this is... I think this is an illegal lap he's on right now, so... You can confirm. All right. Can Samuel Jardine get a legal lap in here? And I don't blame him. This track in the wet is difficult. Okay, so story time here. I have a cousin from Europe who paid a visit at one point, and they're about the same height as me, so they could use my sim rig without like any particular issues. You know, roughly the same leg width, leg length, and all that jazz. So we had to adjust a couple of things, but like, you know, it was comfortable enough. And they really want to do a race. They'd never done a race, so I signed up for a community called ESR race for him, and was like, all right, before you go back home, there's a race at Barcelona in a Centro Corsa Competizione. We're gonna put you through. And it turned out to be a wet race. And I was like, ooh, that is not good. He did surprisingly well. I think the fact that he was terrified of crashing led him to just not really risk it for the biscuit. And he was not fast. Not fast. But he did go out there and more or less completed a relatively incident-free run. And got something like 12th place. So... not bad. I think it was like a 25 car grade. So, you know, top half. Top half for like a proper rookie. Not bad. I don't know if Jardine's on a legal lap here. This is the problem when you don't have a legal lap up. It just basically just keeps giving him it's been saying this entire time he's illegal even when he starts the lap, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's legal, maybe it's not legal. Here we go. It's his last chance. Oh boy. Well, it's not legal now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the grid for your season finale here at Barcelona. The wet weather has left it really interesting because bronze driver Oral Ja will start on the front row with Chris Stancer. His fellow bronze teammate Robert Volt and Dennis Hook, the bronze champion, will be on row 2. Professional hater and Adrian Marud are on row 3. Pole sitter in the iron category, Sean Young, will start 7th with Bearded X Badass on row 4. Idris Cahill and Jeffrey Bacher on row 5. Ron Morley, Brandon Harvey, and all iron row 6. Nathan Gray and Matthias Wiedemann is also at all iron row. Felix Kramrich and Matthew East on row 8. Row 9, Andreas Hansen and the top silver driver, Aaron Shergill, row 9. Cedric Muir and John Spriggs will start on row 10. Row 11 for Miles Stone and D. Hines. Row 12 for Pat Fortune and Richard Oakes. Surprised to see Oakes down that far, but hey, it is what it is. Look for him to make moves. He is a wet weather specialist. Matt Gale and Ulrich De Jager are on row 13. El Perry and Lucas Joubert, row 14. Dominic Edmonds and Alfredo Quesadillas row 15. Then it's Ari Ventnor and David Slater, row 16. And then the guys who did not put up a qualifying lap time, Philip Sully, Adam Stewart, and Samuel Jardine. Could be an interesting one. The Silvers will have to fight their way to the front, and they have a championship battle to consider. Four-way fight between Cedric Muir, Miles Stone, John Spriggs, and Aaron Shergill for the title. Spriggs is in the leader spot and therefore has the control over the moment. Should be an exciting first lap, I'll say that much. Good luck to everybody. As per usual, one pit stop is required over the course of this race. And we'll see what happens. Pole time was a 1:45.8.
Alright, there is some rain in this session, so watch out for slippery curves.
And it's gonna be wet. It's gonna be wet. It's gonna lighten up the rain at about 5 minutes, but then in 15 minutes we're expecting basically torrential downpour. Let me know, chat, if there's anyone you particularly want to watch the start. I'm thinking Aaron Shergill is the most interesting person. Championship contender in the silver category, currently starting in 18th place behind a bunch of irons, bunch of bronzes, and the 213 car is going to have an interesting first lap, I think. Also has Cedric Muir, Milestone, or John Spriggs and Milestone right there, so that's the championship battle. To refresh your memories in the iron category, because I'm talking about it in a bit, Matthias Wiedemann and Brandon Harvey are battling for the title here today. It would be a best case score of 88 points for Brandon Harvey. So if Wiedemann is on the podium in the iron category, he is the champion. And that is if Harvey wins. If Harvey cannot win, there is minimal chance. Second place could do it. Second place for Harvey and a DNF or non-point scoring effort for whatever reason for Wiedemann. So below 7th place effort from him would also be a championship winner for Harvey. But Harvey's got to do his thing. Oh, we want to watch Dennis Hook. I can accommodate that. You guys are the watchers. You have the power. Penalties being populated. Hook has a 5-second penalty. 15 for Adrian Marode. Murr has 5 and 10 for John Spriggs. So that's making Cedric Muir, who is the last place guy of the championship hopefuls, job a little bit harder. And Richard Oakes, 15-second penalty. Looks like somebody left the server. Looks like there's been a inflection of one position for some of the people. Can't be sure who it is. I'm just kind of looking down the list to see if it's somebody below 20 seconds. So it's somebody qualified in the 23rd to 29th area who has departed. Not sure if I can work out who that is. Might have been David Slater, who appears to have rejoined, but is at the back of the pack. Either that or the game is adjusting for Slater electing to start from the pit lane, perhaps. Let's take a peek. No, he's just on the back. Interesting. He had a valid lap. I want to watch the broadcast. You drive track only. You don't want to watch that. You don't want to watch that. Also, I'm very, very rusty right now. I haven't done Barcelona in a hot second. You would see some iron level driving. We'll just put it that way. So last time things were wet was Nürburgring. And for those who don't recall, Brandon Harvey was the winner of Nürburgring along with Alan Herrera, who is not here today in the bronze category, and Richard Oakes in the silver category. Richard Oakes has been a bit of a specialist in terms of wet weather, so I'm expecting to see him do quite well today. Looks like there's a couple of drivers who are maybe a little bit... what's Milestone? Just getting weird gaps. Just getting some weird gaps. It's also there for Joubert. And Sean Young. Interesting. Alright, so will be Oral Ja who leads the way from Chris Stancer and Robert Volt. Then it'll be Dennis Hook in fourth place who will watch. Professional Hater will start P5 in the Mustang. I'm pretty sure Sean Young is actually out of position. Yeah, there you go. Marood in the Honda is supposed to start 6th. Then Sean Young, Bearded X Badass, Idris Cahill, and Jeffrey Bacher, your top 10. And the crowd has suggested that outside row 2 member and the champion of the Bronze Championship, Dennis Hook, be our focal point here for the start of the race. Is Sean Young again overtaking some people. Sean, stay in your position. You're starting 7th. It's not that hard. Inside row 4, sir. In fairness, the formation lap is often where the cars are the most overloaded in terms of like internet capacity, because of course everybody's here. Ooh, Chris is out of position. Chris, get your ass up there. You're supposed to be starting in the front row, sir. I know you're not used to this. Get up there. Do I want TV2? I think I want TV2. Do I want... maybe Hellcam? Ooh, Hellcam. Hellcam for the start is a good idea. This is the final turn here. Pole sitter Oral Ja leading the way. Chris Stancer taking second place in the orange McLaren. Then it's the Aston of Volt. And the BMW of Hook. And the Mustang. A professional hitter, and we are green here at Catalonia for the final one. Hook goes to the inside, forcing a possible 3 wide here with Stancer and with Volt. Not a great start by Oral Ja, who's quite a way ahead. Andreas Hansen in the wall, and a huge contact in the back there. That was one of the BMWs and one of the McLarens. I'm not sure which ones. My apologies. Getting into it as we try to work our way through. Stancer going side by side here for the lead with Oral Ja. Ja still has the lead, I think. Hook in 3rd place, a Volt down to 4th. Hater still 5th, 6th still belongs to Marood. Bad drive out of the corner by Stancer there, and he will drop down behind Dennis Hook, who takes up 2nd place. Stancer down to 3rd, battling with Robert Volt, Professional Hater, and Adrian Marood. Volt's going to go through into 3rd place. I think so is Marood. Hater might be the one that is held out to dry here, though he is the inside line. Stancer dropping like a stone right now. Started on the front row. Back to 6th place now. In 7th place, that is Idris Cahill, followed by Sean Young, who's had a not a great start. Jeffrey Bacher's up to 9th. Rounding out the top 10, it is Ron Morley, Ron Stop Action Morley, ahead of Bearded X Badass in 11th place, followed by Matthias Wiedemann. The championship hopeful in the iron category is in 12th place. It is, right now, the title is Nathan Gray in behind, followed by Milestone, who of the Silver Championship contenders has made up a tremendous amount of ground, moving into 14th place ahead of Matthew East. East is defending against Aaron Shergill. Richard Oakes going down the inside in the Rust Bucket Porsche, looking to make a move, and he's going to do it on Shergill and Matt Gale. Samuel Jardine has had a phenomenal start. He is up to 19th place. He started basically dead last. John Spriggs, the championship leader, on his tail, followed by Cedric Muir, followed by Brandon Harvey. Has had a terrible start. Felix Kramerich is going to make a move on him. Then it is Harvey. Then it is Andreas Hansen, who's recovered nicely from that contact, battling it out with Dean Hines. In behind them, it is Alfredo Quesadillas. Then it is Pat Fortune, L. Perry, Lucas Joubert, Adam Stewart, Dominic Edmonds in the second Mustang. Then it is Philip Sully ahead of Slater and DeJager. Ari Ventner also in the mix there. DeJager's heading into the pit lane. I wonder what the deal with that is. Richard Oakes also in the pit lane? I don't know what's up with that. In the meantime, Oral Ja continues to lead by 1.2 seconds over Dennis Hook. Robert Volt right on the tail there. And then it is Hayter up into 4th place ahead of Marood now. Idris Cahill on a fantastic start. He's up to 6th. She's being shown in 8th. Hang on. That might be a connection issue. Jeffrey Bacher moving through the field. Chris Stancer continuing to drop. Sean Young continuing to drop. Bearded X Badass is up into the top 10, displacing Morley. Miles Stone is hungry to move up in the world as he makes a move there on Wiedemann. Aaron Shergill is in the wall. Championship contender there in the wall. Brandon Harvey also moving very slowly. And Andreas Hansen, it looks like maybe Hansen and Harvey have come to blows. At the front, things are interesting with Marood putting the pressure on Hayter. This is that battle for second place in the Bronze Championship I was talking about. We have a champion, Dennis Hook. No one can take that away from him. But second place is very much up for grabs between Marood, Hayter, and Volt. Those three are tied. And Oral Ja, our race leader. So all of them have a big chance to score some big points here today and pick up that second place in the standings, even if they cannot win the title. Ron Morley under pressure from Miles Stone. We'll see if he resists the Nissan too hard here. I would not. This is really, really, really early in the race. Miles Stone is a man on the mission to get a championship. And not a hard defense there from Morley, and Stone is up into 10th as Chris Stancer is off the track there and probably dropping back a little bit further. Matthew East is sideways on the start-finish straight. Let's see what happened to him. And it was more than 15 seconds ago. Unfortunately, the replay will not catch it. Whatever happened had at this point already happened to the number 42 BMW. Dominic Edmonds putting the pressure on the Wise Racing car of Adam Stewart. Up ahead of them, it's L. Perry and Alfredo Quesadillas. They are looking to make their way past Cedric Muir, and Muir has made a mistake, so he's dropping back. Quesadillas is through. Perry is through. Stewart looking around the outside. Nothing doing yet, though, and at the background there it is Edmonds, followed by Joubert, who's having a pretty good start, actually, on his own. Had a rough qualifying, but he's getting the job done. Pat Fortune's in the pits along with Aaron Shergill. So early pit stops for them. Felix Kramerich on the tail of Bearded X Badass, who's had, it would appear a moment, because Bearded X Badass, last we saw him, was in the top 10. Now he's running in 16th place in that purple people eater BMW. Pestered by the Rothmans Porsche of Kramerich. Miles Stone has got his next victim lined up. It is Sean Young, the reigning and not defending Iron Champion. We don't know who the champion will be, but it will not be Sean Young. Although he does run in first place of the Irons right this second. And might have a shot at second place. Hang on. What is Sean's best case scenario? Yeah, second place. He cannot catch Wiedemann, but he can catch Brandon Harvey. That's Chris Stancer again, taking a wide line. And in the meantime, Cedric Muir losing out to Dominic Edmonds. Side-by-side action there. That's Aaron Shergill rejoining the race. As a lapped car. So Shergill's championship hopes might have just gone up in smoke, but we'll see. Maybe this super undercut idea might actually work out. Just needs a little bit more chaos and a little bit more carnage elsewhere. Cedric Muir going side by side with Joubert, and he is dropping like a stone. I don't know what's up with him. D. Hines also goes through as well as David Slater. Hines also overtakes Joubert. Slater looking to overtake Joubert as well. And Aaron Shergill is, of course, a lapped car, so that is not of a concern for Muir, although that is a championship rival. Ooh, little hip check by Joubert on Slater. I think you'll get away with that in the wet, if I'm being completely honest, but a little bit clumsy. Robert Volt on the tail of Dennis Hook for second place. Gets a little bit wide and out of shape there, though. Miles Stone still has not cleared Sean Young. I'm a little surprised at that. Sean Young has been pretty historically demure in fighting with silver drivers, so it's a bit weird that he's putting up a... I don't want to say putting up a fight, because I haven't seen any kind of like actual defensive movement. It's just I kind of expected Stone to clear him relatively quickly, and that has not happened. One of the other Nissans is coming through as well. That is Matt Gale behind Ron Morley. And one Nissan makes the move down the inside. The other one might not. Morley might shut that door, and he does. Morley retaining 11th place for the time being. And Dennis Hook has indeed been overtaken, not only by Robert Volt, but also by Professional Hater. Volt and Hater and Jaw are all battling for this second place. And Hater, that was clumsy. That was a clumsy move by Professional Hater. And Robert Volt taps the rear of him and he goes off. Oral Shaw continuing to lead. That'll put Volt second, Hook third, and Marood fourth, then Cahill, I believe. Hater dropping down the order quite a bit, doing a good job of not trying to rejoin in any kind of unsafe manner. Brandon Harvey's in the pit lane, as well as, I think, a return to the pit lane for Pat Fortune. Matt Gale still battling with Ron Morley over 10th place. Was 11th place, now 10th place. Up ahead of them is Sean Young. And in behind them, that is the Silver Championship leader, John Spriggs, in the BMW, as well as the championship leader in the Iron category. That would be Matthias Wiedemann. By the way, if Wiedemann and Spriggs retain their championship leads exiting today and become champions, it will be a complete BMW sweep, because Dennis Hook is a BMW driver. He is champion of the bronze category. Currently, the silver and iron championships are led by BMW drivers, so a very triumphant run for the M4 right now. Felix Kramrich losing a spot to the hard-charging Samuel Jardine. Couldn't get a legal lap in qualifying, but Jardine is flying out there in the Honda. He is up to 14th place, having started... it wasn't dead last, that was David Slater, but pretty damn close to dead last. El Perry on the tail of Quesadillas as there is a train behind Jardine that includes Kramrich, Bearded X Badass, Nathan Gray, Quesadillas, El Perry. That's Quesadillas looking to make a move on Nathan Gray. And also Adam Stewart on the back end of this fight as well. And that is Jardine off! No! I just complimented him. What happened? Looks like he's going to lose it on his own. Yep. Into the wall the Honda goes. And Nathan Gray then collects Quesadillas, as they just kind of come way too close together. Milestone has overtaken Chris Stancer for 7th place. We'll see how that went here. Down the inside, Stancer doesn't make too much of a protest of it. And next up for Stone will be Jeffrey Bacher. as he's offended to have a bronze driver leading this race. And he is determined to do something about it. Adrian Maroon and Dennis Hook continue to scrap over third. Stone already going past Bakker. That'll be 6th place for the Nissan. Next up will be Idris Cahill. Also, we got some side-by-side action. Marood looking to make the overtake happen on Hook through the hairpin. For the time being, the BMW hangs on against the Honda. Professional Hater has rejoined the race, by the way. He is in 23rd position. And trying to get past D. Hines. Marood takes advantage of a mistake there by Hook, and will take that 3rd place. So, as it stands, let me do some quick mathematics here in the bronze category, if you please. It would be 2nd place for Robert Volt. And on tiebreaker, Oral Ja would take 3rd, followed by Marood and Professional Hater. But we have a long way to go. I'll probably save speculation for the championship until after we get a pit stop in. And we figure out where everyone is kind of settling. John Spriggs putting the pressure on Ron Morley. Matt Gale has finally cleared Morley. And now he's under attack from the Silver Championship leader. Miles Stone, speaking of the Silver Championship, putting pressure on Idris Cahill, who's having a phenomenal day in 5th place in the 205 BMW. Cahill, always a guy who's had single lap speed. Just hasn't really been putting races together necessarily, so I tip my hat to him and wish him the best. But he is up against Zilla power. John Spriggs. Speaking of Zilla power, Matt Gale all over the back end of Sean Young. Somebody has obliterated the styrofoam. Spriggs looks the inside. Don't think that's on. Unless Morley makes a mistake, and he does. Got too much on the curb there, and it is an overtake for John Spriggs for 11th place. Oh. Miles Stone's making his move, baby. No, not quite. Right now, Spriggs has got the Silver Championship. He's doing his job, podium position, and the title is his. He's currently 3rd. And in the Iron category, Wiedemann will win the title because Brandon Harvey is having a terrible day. I don't think there's a lot of interest going on there. In the battle for 2nd place in the Bronze, that currently belongs to Robert Volt, who is in 2nd place in the category and in the race entirely. Miles Stone moves into 5th place ahead of Idris Cahill. And also, we missed an overtake by Matt Gale on Sean Young. There it is. Both the Nissans getting the job done, and Spriggs at some point has done Morley in and has moved ahead of him into 11th place. So top 10 is Jaw, Volt, Marood, Hook, Stone, Cahill, Bakker, Stancer, Gale, and Young. In the silver category, it is Stone leading from Gale, Spriggs, Perry, and Quesadillas. By the way, 3 Nissans in the top 4. Pretty cool. And in the iron category, it is Young leading Morley, Wiedemann, Kramaric, and Gray. John Spriggs looking to get past Sean Young. Ron Morley hungry for it as well. Now, Young's concern would probably have to be Morley here, less so than Spriggs. Spriggs is a silver driver. He is not in the same championship as the iron driver Sean Young. But Morley is a direct rival as Chris Stancer, who started on the front row, loses another spot there. Matt Gale moving on through into 8th place. These Nissans seem to be handling the wet really well. Channeling their inner strength, their inner beast. And all 3 of them are making good progress through the field. The furthest down one is El Perry in 16th place. Oral Jaw's lead is coming down a little bit. But nonetheless, his last lap was his best lap. It's just Robert Volt put down a 51.0, which is the fastest lap of the race. By a significant margin. So this is less about Jaw losing ground and more about Volt just being on the battle path as John Spriggs is repelled by Sean Young. Porsche standing up to the might of BMW there. We do have a lessening up of rain in the next 5 minutes, but it is going to be back strong in 15, so any ideas that this track is going to get dried out is, I think, far-fetched. Although there are some dry patches appearing, I see. Some areas where the cars, of course, have managed to displace enough water that there is probably a little bit more grip. Adam Stewart putting the pressure on David Slater. It's a battle for 23rd position. Slater started dead last. We've also had a disqualification handed out. Pat Fortune has been sent out of the race. This is a double pit stop race, actually. Pardon me. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Ooh, Slater loses it. And that's that battle done. Wiedemann versus Kramaric. This is a battle for 3rd place in the iron category. Wiedemann knows that 3rd place is his magic number to win the championship. That being said, with Brandon Harvey having a pretty rough day, chances are that losing out to Kramaric will not actually be a big problem. Oh, Cedric Muir tries to follow through and takes out Wiedemann. That is less than optimal. El Perry makes a move as a result. Muir was down a lap, so that is sloppy driving. That was not a battle for position. Bearded X Badass is in the pit lane. And Spriggs has finally moved into the top 10, displacing Sean Young, the iron leader. Dennis Hook off the track. What happened to you? Looks like it's just going to be on his own. Connection error? Connection error, maybe. Alright. Oral Jaw still leading for Robert Volt, Adrian Marood, Dennis Hook, and Miles Stone now in 5th place. John Spriggs looking to make his way past Chris Stancer. Stancer is, let's just say, not held up very well. That is a lapped car ahead of them in the Honda of Samuel Jardine. And the Audi is Jeffrey Bacher. Oh, Jardine getting out of shape. Jardim was a hard charger earlier on, but I believe has made an early pit stop. Yes, he has. And that has put him a little bit further back in the pack. So that's 9th place for Spriggs. Currently doing enough to be champion. So the all BMW title is still in play, with Spriggs, Hook, and Wiedemann being the champions. As things stand. Picked a heck of a week to have a throat infection. All phlegmy. Shout out to the Iron Drivers, Sean Young, Ron Morley, Felix Kramrich. They're really, and Matthias Wiedemann, and even Nathan Gray. They're making a really good account of themselves right now. Even as far down as 6th place in Iron, D. Hines are really doing quite a good job. John Spriggs going side by side with Jeffrey Bacher for 8th place. And the championship leader moves on past. Drive-through penalty for professional hater. That will short-circuit his battle for 2nd place in the bronze category. Milestone has caught up to the bronze championship leader, Dennis Hook. I shouldn't even say leader, the bronze champion. There is, short of some basically Michael Schumacher 1997 rule that I'm not aware of, Hook will be the champion. Mathematically cannot be caught, leads by 21 points. A perfect score is only 20. Did I not add Oral Jaws poll? I did not. Fixing the problem. Also forgot to add Aaron Sherkins. Robert Volt in the pit lane. One of the early front runners to make a pit stop. And Milestone goes through without too much fuss. Sean Young up on the back of Chris Stancer. You've seen Sean Young get overtaken a number of times. By the way, Spriggs has overtaken Jeffrey Bacher. Well, we were not looking. Sean Stancer is just falling like a brick through this field. Started this race in 2nd place, and with this move by Sean Young, if it happens, will be outside the top 10. Ron Morley also hungrily looking at it. Although, mind you, they will pick up the top 10 again when because of Robert Volt's pit stop. Matt Gale has overtaken Idris Cahill. They had some interesting bumping at Suzuka. So, good to see them out here and possibly, yeah, making things a little bit cleaner. Volt rejoins the race. I thought there was an overtake happening. It was just a pit stop being resolved. So Volt is the highest ranking of anybody with a pit stop done. John Spriggs is on the tail of Matt Gale. Now, Gale is a Nissan. I know there's a certain level of brand loyalty between him and Milestone. We'll see if he gets them elbows out. If he gets those hips nice and wide for dealing with the championship leader, John Spriggs. By the way, that is Dominic Edmonds up ahead of them in the Mustang. I believe he's had a pit stop, and as a result is off the lead lap. And behaves relatively accordingly. Big save in the background there by Jeffrey Bacher. El Perry overtaking Felix Kramrich. That is for 12th on track. There, of course, are a number of desynchronized cars as far as pit stops are concerned. Hader in to serve his